You're welcome back. You're still watching Simply Showbiz right here on TV3. Now, for our discussion for today, we're talking about the NFA's classification drive, the story so far. We've got two main, conversations going for us today, and then also we'll take a look at the local content rules and practice in Ghana. Now, joining me to have that conversation is the chairman of the Film Classification Committee, National Film Authority, Sokwe Safo. You're welcome, sir. How are you doing?
I'm still alive.
You're still alive. We thank God for that. And also, we have Wayo Ting also joining me. He's a music producer and he's a showbiz critic. How are you doing as well?
I'm great, my dear.
I miss you small because, I saw you last week. So, like, small, be like
small.
that. Small like that.
Good. I'm here.
All right. So, we're setting the conversation well, and I will start with Sokwe Safo. But let me just give a little background to the story. So a document released in March 2021 and signed by yourself, Sokwe Safo, the chairman of the Film Classification Committee, stated emphatically that the NFA was going to get tough with content creators who will refuse to submit their audio-visual content for examination and classification starting May 1, 2021. Now, per the directive, anyone who refused to comply with the set rules was going to be made to face the law. Now, it's been 10 months after that directive, okay? How has the committee's objectives, has the committee's objectives been met so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you lay the objectives down for us?
Well, for starters, after the release, this release came after our meeting with Giba.
Okay.
And it's so...
Because they had some concerns.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
So we've met with Giba for over a year. I've been saying this, and it's on record that for over a year we've been meeting and they raised concerns and assurance and to a point that we all agreed that, okay, it's time to go. But part of that agreement also states that we should also sensitize and educate the public. So as part of our strategic implementation, we decided to also embark on education.
Okay.
Yes.
On what platforms?
Well, we've been going to TV stations, have discussions with them. If you could check with Media General, we've been here and constantly engaging some of your people. And we are also monitoring. So it is more of education. We monitor, and sometimes after the education, they sometimes get it wrong in terms of the classification. Because the in-house productions, which is our main challenge, are to be done by the production house, the classification of in-house productions. We give them the guidelines and all that. So they are to do it, which by and large, most of the stations are doing it. We are now focusing on those who are doing it. When we finish with them, which we are almost done, and then we will then move to those who have decided not to do it. Because we know the station, we have the records and everything, the stations who are complying and those who are deliberately not complying. Sometimes we reach out to them and they tell us that, oh, we know nothing about classification. For me, which we all know, it is said that ignorance of the law is no excuse. So if you deliberately say that, well, I don't know, that is not our business, because we know that we have informed your mother association, we have informed you all, and then you keep saying that you don't know. Well, that is a different ballgame altogether. Now, moving on, we are also focusing on the cinema houses that now every content that you see being shown in the cinema houses, i.e. Silverbird, which is currently running. You go to Snap Cinema, that is also running. Every content, if it's not classified, you cannot show it. Recently, there was a film that maybe, I don't know how to put it, but they maybe, take that word into consideration, maybe decide to call our bluff. And the film was stopped. They didn't show it. Yeah.
Right. So you did talk about, the education part and all of that, but 10 months on, people would also want to find out, when are we taking action? When is your outfit taking action? Because at the end of the day, you have mentioned that by and large, most of, the media outlets and everyone who's supposed to ensure that their content is, classified, a large number have done that. So moving forward, when are we expecting, prosecution? If
You are in a hurry for that, eh?
well, at the end of the day, we have educated the people,
Yes.
but there'll definitely be, some people who will not comply. So we want to know if they do not comply, what's going to happen to them.
The law will apply. Section 21 of the law states what we should do.
So run us by that quickly.
Okay. If I should go to section 21, sorry, I didn't bring my hard copy.
That's
section
fine.
21 says anybody who fails to comply, it says
Is
that.
it the one about the liable on summary conviction?
Yes,
fine
that
not
is
less
section.
Section 27 of the Act
Sorry, 27.
935.
Yeah, 27.
Okay.
Yeah, 27. If you can take us through, please.
All right, so it says, let me start this way. It says the committee warned anyone who fails to comply with the set rules shall bear the consequence as spelled out in the law. The penalty as set out in Section 27 of Act 935 says anyone who acts contrary to the rules says commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 1,000 penalty units and not more than 10,000 penalty units, or imprisonment for a term of not less than 1 year and not more than 5 years, or to both, and in the case of a continuing offense, to a further fine of 100 penalty units for each day that the prohibited act continues.
Exactly.
This is a lot of terminology, like, lawyer conversation. Can you please break it down for us?
I'm not a lawyer, but if I can...
But you're the chairman, so...
I'm not a lawyer, but if I will try...
So we can understand.
We know that one penalty unit is, I think, is it 12 cedis or so? Yeah.
12 Ghana cedis. 12
Ghana cedis. So 1,000 penalty units is... how much?
12,000.
Okay.
I am not going to calculate anything for you guys. We'll do the calculations later.
Or 1 year imprisonment, or to the maximum at the discretion of the judge. Now, this is what the law is saying. But there is also one aspect of the law where we should also take into consideration. This is a new law that is... it's not a new law in a way. It's been there before, but it's now being moved into new territories. That is where education is key. Sensitization is also key there. So that is what has taken us all this while, deliberately, trying to get all the records, things on record that, yes, we've given them ample education. If we should go to court tomorrow, you will not come and sit here with Kwesi Otin, now coming to question,
weigh your team.
Now coming to question if they don't know the law and they have a word they use, draconia or whatever, I don't know the meaning. And they will give us all sort of human face, whatever. We are applying the human face here, and it is on record. All our meetings are on record. Stations that we've been to discuss these things are on record. So if we should get to court tomorrow, nobody will have the excuse to say that you should have educated them.
Okay. All right. Now, Oting, so I understand that, when, the policy or the directive was being announced, you felt that they had rushed through it, or they were rushing through it. Do you still stand by that?
I think somewhere last year, my uncle secretary sent me some few documents which I went through. It's like a very wide range, from music videos
to documentary,
almost like everything. First of all, what I said was, how well have they been able to sanitize the airwaves for us, or to benefit the people within? To be very comfortable, to make sure that everything that they are churning out suits what the Film Classification Board is looking at. Because there's a lot of competition on our airwaves. I'm speaking as a producer, somebody who like put out content. So I asked myself, if I'm competing with so many people, and I wonder how a lot of content that makes it on to our system are classified. for the fact that their producers, their what are nowhere even to be found. And if you watch our televisions now, you see so many contents that is going on in the place. Now I'm glad that since last year June, he has been going around the likes of GTV and so many other places to educate them. Now,
we're a listening committee, so we'll listen to you.
Thank you. Now, my question is, you leave this at the mercies of the television stations and, visual broadcasting, companies to do their own classification per the standards that you have given them. Uncle Sok, do you have the office yet?
Yes.
The office, and you have the people that when people come in.
Yes.
Because you remember we spoke about even the timing. The last year when we spoke, even timing for people to classify their films.
Yes,
we're expanding within months.
I think 30 days.
Yes.
30 days in there because 21 days.
21 days.
21 days. And look at how many music videos that are churned out per day over the weeks. Now I can confidently say that the movie industry itself is nowhere to be found. You need to dig deep.
Don't say nowhere. When you say nowhere to be found, what do you mean?
When I say nowhere to be found, now when we talk about Ghana movie, compared now to 10 years ago.
When you say nowhere to be found, I want to understand, because I don't understand when you say nowhere. Something that is nowhere to be found is something that you can't find anywhere.
Yeah, but when I say nowhere to be found, let's
we are on public TV.
When I say nowhere to be found, the movie industry is at the verge of collapsing. Let's be very honest to ourselves.
Okay. Why are you saying that?
10 years ago, per day, from even Kumawood, you could see how many movies were being produced.
How many movies are coming out now?
Per my few assessments that I've made, even Ghanaian owned, in the companies are not even producing movies like before.
It's not true.
Now,
no, it's not true.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Give us the information that you have as well.
Now, people actually come in, give them the money to produce the movie, and it's being taken away.
Okay.
So first of all, we as a people, the intellectual property and all those things that we are fighting for, which is under the film classification because they are supposed to protect all these rights. First of all, we are not putting or implementing stuff in place to make sure that all these people are protected to have the free will and the rights and the funding and all those things to do it. We shouldn't forget that when the bill was passed, it also went on not to only institute a film classification board, but also to institute a fund that will support these people for them to shoot. Now we can classify them. But you see, in our industry and in our system, we seem to constantly be looking at, where it will benefit us than where it will benefit all of us.
So when you say where it will benefit us, you mean the people in authority?
Exactly.
Can I interrupt so that we move?
Please hold on.
Wait.
You
this
seem
is
to have
a
the
big
facts,
problem
so
we
give
have
us
in our
the
creative
information.
sector that we need to check
for
us to move forward. Sometimes we come on public space and make statements, comments that are a figment of our imagination.
How so?
Yes, what he said here about foreigners coming with money and shooting and people taking films out as if our film industry is nowhere to be found and all these statements. He is not the only person making this statement. That is why I want to badge in.
Please do that for us.
For the records, Ghanaians are shooting now.
Okay.
Ghanaians, the films that have been brought to us are owned by Ghanaians. These young guys are doing so well. Check from the records at Silverbed. Have you been to? When was the last time you went to Silverbed to watch a film?
Beautiful. I
So
have been to Silverbed.
Hold it. Hold it. Let me give you. You don't have information. You are a music producer.
No.
You don't have information.
That is where you get
and
this
you are
wrong.
talking about film.
But
and I'm telling you that for the records,
I wish
the
you
films that
had
are being brought to us are by Ghanaians.
No, Sokrit,
These young guys, the Kobe runners and the rest, they are shooting good movies.
People are
Listen,
shooting.
Let's commend them
So
and let's make sure
can
that investors
you
have
are in the realm of affairs.
Please.
You see movies that
Don't
are being
ridicule the
classified.
industry
Can
like that.
you
When you
give
say
me-
things like this,
No.
it discourages
So,
people from
can
coming
you give
up to
me
invest.
for the past 3 months
Yes.
how many movies, because you are there, you are with the papers, per whatever information that I have had and research that I have made.
How many weeks
it
do we
is-
have in 3 months?
Oh, can I finish?
No, how many
Can
weeks?
I finish?
12.
Months.
Can I finish?
Yes,
Oh,
you
in
said
3 months, you said.
Yes,
Okay.
Can I
12.
finish?
That means 12 movies because every week, check the records.
So
Films
when
are
you
being
say
released.
check the records. We're checking the records by the cinemas.
Yes,
or
you asked
records
me
at
how
the
many
film.
movies have been produced,
Sorry,
and I'm telling you for the
So now,
records.
so now, is
12,
it-
you said 3 months, and
when
I'm
we
saying
go
12
to,
movies.
For the
Mr.
records.
Safo-
Yes, for the records.
For the-
12
Hello,
movies.
guys. Yes, thank you, Mr. Safo. So when we go onto the National Film Authority's website, will we have this information?
No, it shouldn't be at the national.
shouldn't
Film.
be there.
It's a private production.
Okay,
It's a private
So
producer who has
how-
produced his movie.
right.
And
So-
I'm telling you, he asked a
Okay,
question.
go
and
ahead.
I'm giving you the answer. You said for the past 3 months. And I'm telling you that for the past 3 months, every week, a minimum of 1 movie is released. Snap Cinema, how do you call it? Silverbird. They release movies.
Great. Nobody is
Do
arguing
you
with
have
that.
this information?
Do you have a document
the
that
question
is
is
backing this your information you're giving? Because you are in the office. So
You
you
have not checked, and
you see
you sat here and
the
just
same
put out
way
information.
you do.
Information.
You haven't also checked. You
I
also
have
have.
given you
Do you
information
have a
and you asked-
documentation to it?
Yes, I have it.
I wish you brought it here.
Yeah, I didn't know you are coming to channel this.
You
this
see
information.
that because you being in the realm of affairs should have armed yourself
Yeah,
because
so,
anything
and
would
And
have
I'm giving
happened.
you
At the end of the
the
day,
information that 12 movies have been released.
I
minimum of
appreciate
12
the
movies.
passion.
And I have also
appreciate
given you the
passion.
research that I have
You
made.
haven't done any research. You don't know.
Okay, all right. So
Let's stop this information.
I will need us-
Madam, the problem is that sometimes
I will need
we
us-
we put out information, wrong information,
Safo,
figment of our
I will need
No,
us
but
to
if
get
it's
to
like
the
that,
point
the
where-
problem is that there
Hello,
has
guys.
been
I
so
will-
much
I will
talking.
need us to
The
get to
likes
the
of
point
you
where
who
it's
put
so
wrong
much
information
down
out,
the
and
line.
there's less
I
done.
still
The
need
likes
to
of you
find
who
out-
put
There
wrong
has been
information
so much
out. You are
talking,
creating a
and there
problem.
is less
All
done.
right, so you're still watching Simply Showbiz right here on TV3.
No, you don't know. What you come out to put out ignorant.
Mr. Safo, Mr. Safo.
I am glad you know.
Yes,
I
I
am glad
know.
you are giving the
Well,
right
Mr.
information.
Safo.
Yes.
But what?
But
Wait,
yes,
wait,
I
wait,
don't do
wait.
that.
No,
Guys,
if you don't have information,
guys,
exactly what you're
Even if you
saying.
don't have information, don't.
You're still
you
watching
who
Simply
don't have the
Showbiz right here on
information.
TV3.
What
We're
is
going for a
backing
quick
it?
break. When we come back, there's more. Stay with us.
Where is the fact?
Welcome back. You're still watching Simply Showbiz right here on TV3. Now we're talking about the National Film Authority classification drive and how it's been so far, and also get to the part where we get to talk about the local content rules and practice in Ghana. So far, the conversation is heated. We've got Sokwe Safo in studio. He is the chairman of the classification committee, and we've got Weyo Ting. He's a music producer and he's a showbiz critic. Now we're also moving further along on the conversation, or with the conversation, where we also like to know at the end of the day, what does your outfit look out for when they're classifying these movies or these audio visuals?
Okay, we look out for. We have, I think, about 5 indicators.
Okay.
That is one, the content itself, whether it conforms to our national aspirations and culture. That is one.
Sorry, briefly. What are our national aspirations and
No, as a country.
As a country.
As a country.
Okay.
You understand? Good. We are not cannibals. We are not. There are certain things. So if you are bringing in any content, fine. We look out and see that, okay, what is in the content? When it gets into our system here, how will it affect us as a people? Okay. Now, as a people, which age bracket is matured enough to understand what you are doing or what you are presenting to them?
Okay.
There are kids who may see anything and believe it. And there are adults who will see it and decipher to know that, oh, okay, this is about it. You understand? Good. So these are some of the things we consider. Then we consider language,
Okay.
nudity, sex, violence, horror. And
Horror.
Yeah, horror.
You don't like, because horror is a genre.
Yes, but who do you, the depth of the presentation.
Okay.
If you show it to a kid, it may affect the kid. You understand? So there are certain contents that must be shown to matured minds. Classification is not censorship.
Okay, I think that's the part that some people also wanted to understand as well, because I think the reason for the backlash and the controversy some time back had to do with that. I think
people misconstrue classification to be censorship. No, we don't censor films. Ours is to watch and classify for an age bracket.
Okay.
You understand? So if you bring a content and we look at it and we say that, okay, the violence is up to a certain level that kids may not understand, then we give it a bracket. So it's a system or a formula. It's 1 to 5, the violence level, 1 to 5. So you, as the previewer, you watch it, and then if you look at the volume of violence in it, then you can say that, no, this is 5 or this is 4. And you have about 5 people sitting there, everybody independent ratings. So when they finish, then we tabulate it, and then we will know.
Okay, so I know if you're just joining us, this is still Simply Showbiz. We've got Ola Michael joining us. Ola, how are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Mind telling me why you're late? Okay, we'll get into that some other time. Mr. Safo, quickly as well. Some people have raised concerns with telenovelas and the fact that there are some new scenes here and there, and they're showing that at prime time. What has been done about that?
We are dealing with an industry with huge investment, that is the television industry. Aside that, we also have our country or society and culture to protect vis-a-vis classification. Now, strategically, what we have done is that we told them, when we came up with this release, we informed Giver that they should inform their members. Whichever content you are showing now in terms of telenovela, we cannot break it midway. If we come out to classify it midway, it may affect the time slot that you've signed contract with sponsors. You understand? You've signed contract with sponsors. So finish or exhaust what you are showing now. It may be 200 episodes. You've shown maybe 100. We don't want to disrupt you. Finish. But when you are bringing the new one, bring it to us. Let's preview it, and then we can advise on the time or the ratings for you. That one has not been done. They took that as a leeway, and they finished, and some of them have also started new ones, and they are running. Okay. So that is something that we will deal with.
Right. Otin, you are shaking your head.
You see,
are you satisfied?
When I've never been satisfied with anything he's saying.
He's saying.
I've never been satisfied because
your decisions.
If you tell me that you are classifying it per our culture,
and aspirations and everything else that he said.
Who classified Diabolo then this? So let's say the same thing.
Is that who classified Diabolo?
The Diabolo movie.
The preview committee.
They classified Diabolo.
Yes.
Okay.
And as I was growing up, I used to watch that movie irrespective of time. Being it afternoon, morning, or whatever. It was being shown on TV. Whether it traumatized me and it makes someone else happy.
Point of correct. It was being shown on TV. Yes, you watch it on TV. In those days, TV content was not being classified.
But you did say a preview committee.
In those days.
In those days.
Yes.
So the preview committee didn't have any powers?
On TV.
So why then did they preview it then?
They preview it for cinema.
Interesting.
But the cinema, how many people go to the cinema? If you're taking our population into account.
I have corrected you because you said you were watching it on TV.
Okay.
And you're going to use it against classification. I have corrected you. I said, in those days, TV content was not being previewed. So whatever you were watching on TV at that time, don't use that against what we are doing.
I won't use it, but I won't mention a certain television's name. Just on Wednesday, around 10:40 thereabouts, I was just flipping my channels, and it landed at a station where whatever they were showing, the sex scene, it's not like direct, but I mean suggestive wise. It was so so
Yes,
inappropriate.
You are right. We get the complaints, and we are even encourage the public to also furnish us with these complaints.
No, but why did his channel stop at that point?
Because he's interested in that.
Okay.
When I saw it, I remembered that this is what you've been fighting for, and it's not working. That was
Ola,
why I had to
Why
make
are you
sure.
saying it's not working? I've sat here and I told you that, look, we are dealing with a system, and one of the key things we need to do, sensitization, education. Do you understand? Before you go to court, Master, if you have been to court before,
Nobody is doubting the
need
fact
to
that the law
fulfill
is
that
always
aspect.
be the law.
I get that. So Ola just joined us, not too long ago. I want to find out from you whether if you are satisfied with the classification committee's job so far.
No,
10
for me,
months on.
I'm not. I think we can do more than what they've been able to do. There's more to be
Could
done.
you elaborate?
Yes, there's more to be done. And, it has not been a matter of, being too diplomatic with the law. There's a law that states A, B, C, D. Why can't we ask people
Well, he
to
did mention
follow
that
it?
they were they decided to do education for this whole 10-month period as well.
it's been more than
My dear,
It's been more than 10 months.
since the Cinematographic Act of 1963, since the Film Classification and Preview guidelines for 1963, and the education has been done.
Okay.
There's no television station in this country or in this world that does not know that the content you show on your screens need to be classified. There is no cinema in this world that does not know that anything you show on your screens need to be classified.
Right.
There's no digital distribution platform for any audiovisual work that does not respect that. Even your YouTube does. Facebook now, even though it's not yet a fully fledged digital distribution platform, still has guidelines. Everywhere has got it. What is this excuse of education? Why? See, excuses has always been the clutches of failures. When you are failing, you look for excuses, and then you hold on to them. Oh, we have to educate them. Oh, we have to wait. Oh, the law. You are clinging to it because you are failing. You don't even know why you are failing. You understand? This thing should have been done years ago. We don't need education anymore.
Okay.
There's nobody in this country that will tell me that stealing is a crime. That stealing is not a crime. Everybody knows it's a crime. Anybody in the space where classification should be done knows what to be done. What more are you waiting for? You just don't have the capacity.
Before you go any further, so he gave this, explanation about telenovelas, nudity, and the fact that they've allowed them to some of these stations to run it because they have sponsors on there. And what do you
Sponsors on them. So let me also go and have a television station and have sponsors on a porn. I just show porn all through. I have sponsored on them. So you think about my sponsors and destroy your people? I'm a businessman. I've got sponsors, but you also have been mandated to do something. Do your work. If you do your work and the sponsors also get to know, okay, that's what the law says, they will adjust themselves. But it's the same thing. Excuses. And we are still where we are.
Madam, I think I gave explanation. So if you can help, and then just what I or if I need to remind you again concerning the classification, the telenovelas.
Oh, I was here. I was listening.
You were listening.
Yeah.
So why are you not considering what I said, and you've taken a different?
No, I am answering a question that the host asked me
on
directly.
classification, I gave an explanation. Why are you not taking that explanation into consideration?
No, I don't want to take that because that will make you satisfied that you are working. But
so you are doing it deliberately.
No,
now.
it's not deliberate. I'm just
because I
being
gave
honest.
a reason and.
So going back to what you were saying and not even minding what he's doing. You see, let's stop giving excuses for everything that we do. My dear, you have a law that has been passed since 2016. You have a law that protects what you are doing. Do your work. If people are not classifying, use the law. The law says you can go and arrest them. You can even close down their channel. Do it. Just do 1, 2 and see if everybody will not follow suit. But if they realize that, they are not serious, so let's do our business. They do their business. You understand? That is why you have all these channels, these useless channels, and I have no apology for that, showing how people should be killed for money. leading young kids to also go and murder their own age mates for money. This is your failure. This is your job. If you hear of any of these things, you blame yourself for it. Because if you have been up and doing, they wouldn't have been doing it. You understand? They cannot ask you not to show anything, but they are mandated to show you when to show that thing.
Okay.
When can you show this beautiful program? It's their mandate.
Yeah.
So if we are talking about sex and how sex toys here, well, why are we always using sex anyway?
Yeah,
we are talking about juju.
For me, violence is more dangerous for our society than sex.
If you are talking about juju and violence, we are talking about ritual money, and if we are doing it in the morning like this.
Quick money. You
Quick
don't
money.
need to work. Just
It's their job to say, no,
yeah.
this thing cannot be shown at this time. So push it maybe 12 noon or 12 a.m.
12 p.m.
If the person doesn't understand, you go with the police, your monitoring team, close down the child, you seize their gadgets. That's what the law says.
So with all that you've said so far, what do you think moving forward they can, because at the end of the day, he does know that the law is in their favor. They can, go to court when they can or when they find someone guilty or liable in any of these circumstances. But he believes that people need to be educated again because along the lines, just maybe, they've forgotten that they need to have their movies classified. How do you, propose that they work on this moving forward?
My dear, along the line, people forgot that couples could rape themselves.
Okay.
And it took one incident that made everybody started speaking. And couples got educated. That incident got somebody arrested. In the country we live in, on the continent we are, people want to see action before they get to know, oh, so this law actually works. You understand?
Thank you.
So if you don't show that action, my dear, ain't nobody going to mind you, man.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Safo, so there was some stories where, I apologize, there were some stories where people believe that setting up the classification committee was a way of, some people settling scores with some filmmakers. What's your reaction to that?
I haven't come across such a story.
There were stories like that.
Oh,
What
like
kind of
which scores? Like
people believe that, okay, so
Which
when
people?
I bring my movie, if someone on board the committee and a filmmaker comes to them and they have some scores to settle whatsoever,
My dear,
they decide to do that.
Hold it.
With,
Let me come in. It is not true.
It's
It
not
is
true.
not possible. As I sit here as a filmmaker, I don't even know the classification committee people. I don't know who
You
does
don't
the
know them.
classification. I
Okay.
can only know.
So then those
when
were
they want them to do it.
speculations
They
that
were
people were just throwing
useless
about.
rumors.
Okay.
I mean, how
I don't
use
sit
that?
on the classification. I
Okay.
don't even see the committee is there.
I don't even know who does it. So
Right.
whoever brought that rumor maybe was
Obviously,
just
people will
having-
talk to sway stuff
yeah.
around.
Maybe
But
the person was drunk on some liquor.
once you stick to your grounds, you always, get the job done. Because my problem has been, there are movies that during nighttime you hear 18, you see 18, you see 15, you see 14, especially on weekends with the kids and all that. Some cartoons are not even meant for kids.
Exactly.
So you see some cartoons that have been rated 15 and all that. First of all, without the external classification board, the internal, the television station itself are supposed to classify the choice of stuff that are being shown on their screens. So that's where even it kicks off, with or without a classification board.
Okay.
So like Ola was saying, I think it has always been too much talk from their side. If they could get to action, one or two, because there was a point in time there was porn on television, screens as early as 8.
Okay.
And nothing has been done, or nothing is being done, and people are still doing it. And he just attested to the fact that people show gay stuff and all that, which is not appropriate to be on national television. So I think that they should get to work, unless maybe the education it comes with per diem. So the more we educate, the more the pocket is filled. So let's educate more. If we come say if we tamale, per diem comes. So but if not, and it's really for God and country, then I think action needs to be taken, because you will be steady in class. You take the guy at the third row will be very quiet for the rest of the time, because he wouldn't want to get the cane there. So I think it's about time the action kicks off.
Okay.
than maybe. Uncle, so
But
does it come with per diem?
Do they
when you go
do they
educate?
have the capacity to even initiate that action? Have you asked
Well,
them?
he did say that
They have the
their
capacity.
committee is, is set to do the job.
No, he kept saying that when you get to court, but as to how they can get you to the court, that's why he's asking.
No, are you ready to
For
take
me,
people
I am
to
happy
court?
about one thing that they fall into the trap. Yes,
Who's
my
falling?
people here.
They are falling into
Yeah,
what
who's
trap?
Okay, you see.
You brought a trap without a document to justify
What
that.
trap
the
is
trap
that?
because you see,
You've been
these same people, if we had started, how do I call
taking
it?
people to court.
They are the same people who will come and say that, and what education, and blah, 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 blah. But now,
Senior,
I am happy.
I would
I am
never have
happy.
been one of-
Oh,
one
okay,
of such.
good,
Never.
good. So on record, you know, good.
Never.
But now, they are the same people that are saying that, take them to court. Thank you.
No, it's not just about take
So
them
the
to
way
court.
for
Let
the
action.
records,
Let
what should we
action
expect
do it.
from
For the records,
classification committee?
you will back us because I've seen institutions. That's what the law is saying, and they are being bashed. Even from the local assemblies who
Okay.
are clearing people from the roads and police arresting reconstant drivers
Change
and all
comes with
that.
these things.
Wait,
So, yeah.
they get bashed. And
sometimes the bashing comes
Thank
when
God that
you
these
move and
people,
you
What's the next
these
move
are
for
the
the
people who come on
classification
creative entertainment programs and bashers, and now they are the people who are going to support us.
Mr. Safo,
Hallelujah! Thank you.
Mr. Safo, what's the next move for the classification
Leave me
committee?
alone.
Thank you. I said
Answer
they
your
fall into the
question.
trap. And
There's
I'm
no
happy
Mr.
that-
Safo, yeah,
Yes.
what's the next move for the classification committee?
Well, on Tuesday we are having a meeting.
Another education.
We are having a meeting on Tuesday, and then we see because the time.
What's the next
No,
move?
so when you
The
say
meeting is
have
the
a
next
meeting,
move.
You know,
are you having the meeting with the stakeholders?
The first education was
Or
done
who are
at
you having the
GBC.
meeting
Yes.
with?
That was somewhere July last.
The first at
June.
GBC.
You
Which
you
GBC?
Mr.
went to
Safo, who
educate.
are you having the
Yes,
meeting
but that was
with?
not the first one.
Okay,
Mr.
okay.
Safo, who are you
Question.
having the meeting with?
Oh, the
The committee.
committee. is
The
having
committee.
a
It's a T
meeting,
committee.
yeah.
Okay, so
And then that meeting has an agenda. An agenda is to how do you call it? Enforcement. That is
Okay.
what. Because
So-
we've done all that. The film. We have film. We have television, and within television we have in-house productions. We have movies. We have adverts. We have a music video. All these genres, we consider the timelines for them, how we will rope them in.
Okay.
Cinema is roped in already. Now TV, movies, and music videos are the next in line.
Okay.
You understand?
All
if
right.
you are to do it holistically, I'm telling you, TV will suffer.
okay.
Because let's say from the first day that we issued this statement, how many music videos?
All right. Okay, Mr. Safo, we don't have time. Thank you so much for coming. And that's Sokwe Safo, the chairman for Film Classification Committee, NFA. Ola, Mike, your final comments. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes.
I think that when you are given a mandate to work, stop giving excuses.
Okay. Where your thing?
Action is what we need. But when action time, you don't skip some people,
Okay.
because that is where the talking starts.
All right.
If you're whip everybody.
And that is where your team, music producer and showbiz critic, and then Ola Michael, movie producer and critic. Shout outs going out to the entire production team, Warai, Nafti, and then to everyone behind the camera, Mr. Andani, literally everyone. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Akofa. On Twitter and on Instagram, it's @IamAkofa_. We'll catch you same time next Saturday. Thank you for watching.